Is a time I'm going to speak on when my uncle molested me and my family covered it up because he was a preacher. All right, so let's get into it. So, my dad, he had paid these guys, these teenagers, to come and find me. Once they gave me to him, instead of taking me to his home, he took me to his sister. They were very close. And they are the oldest two children. So he took me to her, and he basically told her, "Hey, let me know if you need anything for her." And he was off to carry on with his life. So being there, I started baking. And I was really, really good at it, very talented with it. And then I got into going to church. We used to go to church on Sundays. So at first, everything seemed normal, and then it wasn't. At first I thought everything was going great, and I really felt like I was going to do well there. And to be real, this is no disrespect to her. This is no disrespect to her family, anything like that. This is simply about me. I'm doing this for me. Like, I have buried the secrets long enough. I'm trying to continue prospering with my life and achieving my goals. And in order for me to continue to move forward, this particular part is necessary for my whole healing. So in the beginning, like I said, was going to church. He was he was on the deacon, so he would go around and preach to different places and things like that. And so he was basically praying on me, and at the time I wasn't really aware of it. Like I said, I was 13 at the time, and I was just happy to be somewhere where I thought I was safe. So it started with I would go out and play, and whenever she wasn't home, he would have my cousin tell me to come in the house. So I would come in the house. He would always lay down different rules and different things like this, and basically just trying to mold me. At the time, I was not really aware of it. So it gets to a point where he started doing it all the time. Like, it became weird. So I started just hanging out with my cousins all the time. And so he basically, went back and he was like, "Can you tell her to stop hanging out with the girls all the time? She always want to be around us," And so ended up telling me, "Stop being around them boys. Don't be fast. Don't do this," but that wasn't really the case. So it started off with just touching, anytime like I was off in a room, or she would not be at home, he would come touch on me, rub on me, and then he would tell me that I had to be quiet. I couldn't tell anybody. So at this point, he is the dominant one in the house. Everyone does what he says. So I obliged. And plus, like, my aunt, she really loved him. You know what I mean? And like, whatever he said, that's what it was. Like, she loves him. Like, loves him. So it just became extremely uncomfortable for me. Like, it started out, I'm not going to say started, because at first it was just touching. Then he started saying, "Oh, where have you been all my life? And if I had met you or known you before her, I never would have married her." He'd be like, "I'm so glad you're in my life. Where have you been all my life?" Like, it was those comments that really just grossed me. You know what I mean? Because as a child, this man, he's a very respected man in the church community, in every community. Like, people think he's a saint, and he's really a pedophile. So one particular night, my aunt, she had gave me my cousin's room, my youngest cousin room. And one particular night, I was in there sleeping. He used to work night shift at a factory. I don't remember the name. That's not really important. But I was in the room sleeping, and he was getting ready to leave for work. So he was going around through the house, and so he came into my room. When he came in, he put his tongue down my throat. Like, that was the first time he had ever done that. Like, I had never experienced anything like that, and it was just really gross to me. Like, he would come in the room and he would put his tongue down my throat, trying to tongue kiss me and all of this stuff. Like, he was really trying to make it like I was his lady, but I was, 13, and so rubbing, touching, like, it was just really, really creepy and really nasty. Like, so it was a lot of this, like, every day, and I'm just taking it because what do I do? You know what I mean? At this point, every time I turn to someone for help, it never works out, so I'm just like, man, like, when is enough enough? So I'm just dealing with it, so then it would come times when we would go to church. So I started wanting to wear pants. Instead of skirts and dresses, I would put on pants. He would tell her that I had to take the pants off and wear skirts. She would come in there and be like, hey, Uncle said no. A woman's not supposed to wear pants to church. So she would make me put on skirts or a dress or whatever, as long as it wasn't pants. And the whole time, he was getting a nice little rise out of it. Like, this was a pleasure to him. Like, he was really, really attracted to me in a very, very disturbing way, and this is something that I have really just cried about for so long, like, had very, very dark thoughts about, you know what I'm saying? Because this man, he ruined my life for so long, like, so long. Not just my life, but the bond I had with my family, for real. Like, everything was just ruined. Like, my life was ruined, and it was like I was just non-existent at this point, and so we're going with the tongue kissing and things like that. Every time I go outside and try to play, my cousin, he didn't do it every time, just sometimes. There were some days where he would really give me a break and he would let me play, especially if they needed an extra player on to play basketball or something like that, or if they were going somewhere and they wanted help or with something, that he would let me hang out. He wouldn't make me go in the house, and he was cool. He was just very protective of me because I was his favorite cousin as well. So it went from him sneaking in, putting his tongue in my throat, rubbing, touching, it went from that to every time calling me in the house. Like, he would take me in the living room. He would sit me down. He would pull out my breast. He would, fondle me. He would, all just buried in it, you know what I'm saying? And I was a kid. Like, this stuff was really, really, scary for me. And I didn't have nobody. Like, I didn't have nobody I could turn to with it. You know what I'm saying? I just had to deal with it, and then it's so crazy because on top of him doing all this weird, crazy, gross stuff to me, I have to sit and watch him preach, at churches and stuff. And I'm sitting up here knowing, like, this man is a hypocrite. This man is a pedophile. Like, do you guys even know who you're praising? Because he is not who you think he is. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video here because it's about to lapse. So I will carry on in the next video with the next part. I thank you so much for tuning in thus far. I really appreciate the support, and I hope everyone continues to have a great evening. Stay very blessed and prosperous. Take care.